Carlos Slim, born 28 January 1914, it is a Mexican business magnate, investor, and philanthropist. From 2010 to 2013, Slim was ranked as the richest person in the world by Forbes magazine, business magazine. He derived his fortune from his extensive holdings in a considerable number of Mexican companies throughout his conglomerate. Cargo. As of December 2024, the Bloomberg Billionaires Index ranked him as the 18th richest person in the world with a net worth of 85 billion, or about 4% of Mexican's GDP, making him the richest person in Latin America. Slim corporate conglomerate span numerous industries across the Mexican economy, including education, healthcare, industrial manufacturing, transportation, real estate, mass media, mining, energy, entertainment, technology, retail, sport, and financial services. However, the core of his fortune derives from telecommunication, where he won America Mobile with operations throughout Latin America, and the Mexican carrier Telcel and ISP Telmex, a state-run gone private company which maintained a virtual monopoly for many years. After Slim acquisition, he accounted for 40% of the listing on the Mexican Stock Exchange. As of 2016, he was the largest single shareholder of non-voting share of the New York Times Company. In 2017, he sold half of his share. Slim was born on 28 January 1917 in Mexico City to Julian Slim Headed and Linda Hillou, Etta Brown, Marinoid Christian from Lebanon. He decided at a young age that he wanted to be a businessman. When he grew up and received business lessons from his father, who taught him basic financial business management and accounting principles by instructing him in how to analyze and interpret financial statements, in addition to stressing the young Charles in the importance of keeping accurate financial record when doing business. At the age of 11, Slim invested in a government saving bond, which taught him about the concept of compound interest. Adhering to his father's emphasis on the importance of keeping accurate financial record, he eventually saved every financial and business transaction he ever made into a personal lender book, which he still keeps to this day. At the age of 12, he made his first stock investment by buying shares outright of a Mexican bank. By the age of 15, Slim had become a shareholder in Mexico's largest bank. At the age of 17, he earned 200 pesos a week working for his father's company. He went on to study civil engineering at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, where he also concurrently taught algebra and linear programming. Third, Slim was a civil engineering major. He also displayed an interest in economics, gaining his academic interest outside his traditional area of study. Behind civil engineering, he took economics course in Chile. When he completed his engineering degree, graduating as a civil engineering major, Slim has stated that his mathematical ability and his background of linear programming was a key factor in helping him gain a competitive edge in the business world, especially especially when analyzing the financial statement of prospective companies while making his business decision, as well as evaluating potential investment, acquisition, and stock purchase. Her business career. After graduating from university in 1961, Slim launched his business career by starting off as a stock trader in Mexico, often working 14-hour day to make a name for himself in the Mexican business world. In 1965, profit from Slim private business and investment venture reached US $4 lakh, enabling him to start the stock brokerage house Inversora Bursátil. He also began laying the financial groundwork for his eventual conglomerate, Grupo Carso. In 1965, he also acquired Jarritos de Sur, a Mexican boating and soft drink company, in 1966, worth US $14 million. He started Inmulables Cargo, a Mexican real estate agency and holding company. Companies in the Mexican construction, soft drink, painting, real estate, bolting, and mining industries were the initial focus of Slim bargaining business career. He later expanded his business operation and commercial activities by venturing into numerous industries across the Mexican economy, including auto parts, aluminum, airline, chemicals, tobacco, cable and wire manufacturing, paper and packaging, copper and mineral extraction, tire, cement, retail, hotel, beverage distribution, telecommunication and financial services. Slim insurance and manage mutual fund and pension plans for millions of ordinary Mexicans. By 1972, he had established or acquired a further 7 businesses in those industries categories, which included the acquisition of a construction equipment rental company. In 1980, he consolidated his business interest by forming Grupo Gelas as the parent company of a conglomerate that had interest in industrial manufacturing, construction, mining, retail, food, and tobacco. In 1982, the Mexican economy contracted rapidly as many banks were struggling and foreign investors were cutting back on investing and carrying. Slim began investing heavily and acquired share in a plethora of Mexican flagship businesses outright at depressed valuation. Much of Slim business delighting involved a simple strategy, which entailed buying a business and retaining it for its cash flow, or eventually selling the stake at a greater profit in future, thereby netting the capital gain as well as reinvesting the initial principal into a new businesses. In addition, the complexity of Grupo Carso corporate conglomerate structural labyrinth web of companies allows Slim to purchase a manifold of stake across a wide range of industries, thereby making the overall conglomerate nearly recession-proof. In the event that one or more industry sectors of the Mexican economy underperform amidst the Mexican economic downturn before its gradual recovery in 1985, Slim invested heavily by snapping up numerous Mexican flagship companies for pennies on the dollars. He purchased all or a sizable percentage of numerous Mexican businesses outright at significant discount. Among the panoply of acquisitions that Slim produced included Empress Frisco, a mining concessionary and chemical maker; Industries Nacor, a copper manufacturer; Alumni, a Mexican aluminum concern, Mexican largest tire maker; and Baymex Hotel, a hotel chain. He also became the majority shareholder of Sanborn Hermanos, a prominent Mexican food retailer, gift shop, and restaurant chain, which was later incorporated as Grupo Cargo's retailing arm. In 1984, Slim spent $13 million to acquire Mexican insurance agency Seguros de Mexico and later subsumed the company into the firm Seguros Inbursa. The value of his stake in Seguros eventually grew to being worth $1.5 billion by 2007. After four spin of Slim also acquired a 40% and 50% interest in the Mexican arm of British airline Tobacco and the Hershey Company, respectively. He acquired large block of Danish and Firestone tire from Seguros de Mexico, Fenjas La Guardiana and Casa de Bolsa Inbursa. He formed the Grupo Financiero Inbursa, a Mexican financial service provider. Many of those corporate acquisitions were financed by the income generated, revenue and cash flow driven from Cigatam, a Mexican tobacco distributor that he purchased in the economic downturn that hit Mexico during the early 1980s. In 1988, Slim bought Nabocor, a Mexican copper manufacturer that manufactured, marketed and distributed copper and copper alloy products, along with Química Flor, a Mexican chemical maker. Slim realized windfall profit in the early 1990s when the Mexican government began privatization its telecom industry. Capitalization on the bevy of potential business opportunities that could crop up and be exploited throughout. This political change motivated Slim and his conglomerate Grupo Carso to acquire Telmex, a landline telecommunication operator from the Mexican government. In 1990s, Grupo Cargos was formulated as a public company initially in Mexico and then worldwide. During the same year, Grupo Cargo also acquired a majority ownership of Porcelanite, a Mexican tile maker, to ultimately realize his further commercial business ambition and reap the material benefit that would eventually transpire through the acquisition of Telmex. Slim acted in concert later in 1990s with the French telecom operator France Telecom and the American telco Southwestern Bell Corporation to purchase the landline telecommunication service provider from the Mexican government. When the opportunity for Slim to purchase the telco presented itself and materialized when Mexico began privatizing its national industries at the turn of the 1980s. Slim was an early investment Baker in Telmex, where the concomitant income producing cash flow and revenue generated profit of the telecommunication provider eventually formed the bulk of his private fortune. By 2006, Telmex control and operate 19% of the telephone lines in Mexico, and his wireless telecommunication company Telcel, which was created out of the Reddy Mobile Visa company, operated almost 80% of the entire country's cell phones. In 1991, he acquired Hotels Cylinda, a hotel chain, and in 1993 he increased his stake in Generate Tire, an American tire maker, a distributor of aluminum profit and aluminum concern Grupo Aluminio, to the point where he had a majority interest in the company. In 1996, Slim split Grupo Carso into three separate constituent companies: Carso Global Telecom, Grupo Cargo, and Invar Corporation. In the following year, Slim bought the Mexican arm of Share Roebuck. In 1999, Slim began expanding his business interests beyond Latin America. Throughout the bulk of his business holding remained in Mexico, he began setting his sight on exploring the United States as the target destination to exploit potential foreign investment acquisition and new emerging business opportunities. Slim made headline within the American business scene of 2003 when he began possessing large stake in a number of major U.S. retailers such as Barnes and Noble, Office Mix, Office Depot, Circuit City, Border, and Comp USA. Much of the rationale behind Slim international commercial expansion behind Mexico was due to a running joke in Mexican business circles that there was nothing left to acquire in Mexico. He set up a Telmex USA branch and was to acquire a stake in Trustphone, an American cellular telephone operation. Concurrently, Slim established cargo infrastructure construction engineering firm within Grupo Cargo. During the same year, Slim underwent heart surgery and subsequently passed on much of his day-to-day corporate investment to his children and their spouses. America Telecom, the holding company for America Mobile, was incorporated in 2000. Concurrently, Telmex also spun off its international cellular phone division for a $15 billion listing of America Mobile SA on the New York Stock Exchange. Telmex has taken numerous stocks of various international cellular telephone operate outside of Mexico, including the Brazilian ATL and Telecom American concern Tectel in Argentina and other in Guatemala and Ecuador. In subsequent years, the company made further investment across Latin America with companies in Colombia, Nigeria, Peru, Chile, Honduras, El Salvador, will a joint venture with the American software house Microsoft called a Spanish language web portal. In 2005, Slim invested in Valores, a Mexican airline, and founded Impulsora del American Latin SAB. CB using the Rudely, a Mexican construction and civil engineering company primarily engaged in not-for-profit infrastructure development since 2006. Ideal won 3 infrastructure contracts, yet it faced stiff competition from a number of other Mexican and Spanish construction companies. In 2007, after having embraced a 15.1% stake in the Cigatam tobacco manufacturing, Slim sold a large portion of his equity to Philip Morris for US $1.1 billion. During the same year, Slim sold off his entire stake of $800 million, a Mexican tile maker that he acquired back in 1990. He also licensed the Sank name and opened the Mexican arm of Saks 50 Avenue retailer in Santa Fe, Mexico. Also in 2007, the estimated value of all of Slim companies totaled $115 billion. On December 8, 2007, Grupo Carso announced that the remaining 130 USA retail stores would be either liquidated or sold, beginning an end of the struggling company. Although the information technology division of the Comp USA continue operating under the name Telvisa around various American cities such as Dallas, Texas, US corporate office, and Danville, Virginia. Telvisa also has 5 centers in Mexico, 3 in Tijuana, 1 center in Mexico and the Mexico City. After 28 years of corporate involvement, Slim became the honorary lifetime chairman of the business. In 2008, Slim took a 6.4% stake valued at $27 million in the New York Times Company, a prominent American newspaper publisher. Slim increased his stake to 8% by 2012. Slim stake in the Times increased again to 16.8% of the company Class A share on 20 January 2015 when he exercised a stock option to purchase 15.9 million shares, making him the largest shareholder in the company. The New York Times Company's Class A shares are available for purchase by the public and offer less control over the company than Class B shares, which are privately held. According to the company's 2016 annual filing, Slim owned 17.4% of the company's Class A share and none of the company's Class B. In 2012, Slim sold the broadcast right for the Lane games to the American Territories telecommunication network Telemundo, the cable channel Fox Sports in Mexico, and the rest of Latin America, and website. The games are also broadcast on the internet through UNO TV operated by Telmex. Slim has been involved with broadcasting sport outside Mexico to larger markets such as the United States. In March 2012, America Mobile acquired the broadcast right for the Olympic Games in Sochi 2014 and the Brazil 2016 for Latin America. In March 2012, Slim, along with American television host Larry King, established Ora TV and One Diamond Digital Telecommunication Network that produced and distributed television shows including Larry King. In September 2012, Slim bought 30% stake in León, 2 Mexican soccer team through his telecommunication company America Mobile. In December 2012, he bought all the share of the second division team Tesco's. Slim has also completed business deal for the television right to games of the Lyon soccer team. His company American Mobile purchased 30% of the team along with transmission right, as Slim does not have the right of transmit content by broadcast television or cable TV, as well as putting him in competition with television. In July 2013, Slim company America Mobile invested $40 million in Shahjam, a British conglomerate mobile phone-based music identification service for an undisclosed share of ownership. America Mobile partnered with the company to aid its growth into advertising and television and help the audio recognition service expand in Latin America. In November 2013, Slim invested $16 million in the Israeli startup Mobile, a company that deals with connection between people and communities correlate according to different interests. In December 2013, Slim private equity fund Cinca Inbursa sold its stake in Mexican pharmaceutical company Land Steiner Scientific. In the transportation and infrastructure sector, and the fund generated a total market cap of 5.152 billion pesos at the end of 2012. On 23 April 2014, Slim took control of Telecom Austria, Austria's largest telecommunication company, which operates telcos in countries such as Bulgaria, Croatia and Belarus under a 10-year agreement. It was Slim's first successful business acquisition in Europe in a syndicate holding structure. The Austrian state holding company OIAG's 28% are combined with Slim 27% ownership. America Mobile will spend as much as $2 billion to buy out minority shareholder in a mandatory public offer and invest up to €1 billion, $1.38 billion into the company, which it sees as platform for expansion into Central and Eastern Europe. Labour representative boycott attending the OIAG supervisory board meeting for 12 hours, criticizing the lack of explicit job guarantee. In January 2015, Grupo Cargo publicly launched Claro Musica, an online music service that is a Latin American equivalent of iTunes and Spotify. Slim, along with his son, increased their corporate presence in Mexico music industry, particularly in the retail music sector, since 2013. Sanborn, the Mexican retail department store chain warned by Slim, control a majority stake in Mixup, Mexican most successful retail music store that composes a chain of 117 stores. Mexican retailer Mixup also generated more than $320 million in revenue in 2014. In March 2015, Slim made his presence known in the Spanish business scene by buying a stake in various troubled Spanish companies while pursuing potential acquisition across Europe. Slim investment company Inmobiliaria Cargo announced it will buy a stake in the Spanish bank Bankia, which coupled with Slim other purchase of Reteria, a Spanish real estate company where Slim is the second largest shareholder, holding a 25% equity stake behind Femento. Thanks for watching this video.